10 minutes after 9 o'clock, Free for All Friday. I'm David Ayres. We've got a great lineup, great information. Talk about a lot of things that affect your lives here in Flagler County. If you go to our WNZF Facebook page, you'll see most of the cast of characters we have today. Gretchen Smith, morning.
Good morning.
Flagler Health Department, we've got an update on vaccinations and testing for you. Brian McMillan in the middle.
Good morning, sir.
A centrist he is. And also our city manager, Matt Morton for Palm Coast. Morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you back. Hope you have some good news for us today.
I think we do.
All right. Well, then have a cup of coffee and stay. And our mayor, Melissa Holland. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
How are you?
Doing awesome.
Good.
And we always like to start the program, well, we have for about the last year with our update in Flagler County, and specifically because with the health department and COVID and other things going on. And let's go, Gretchen, we'll go out here with your partner, Bob Snyder, out at the Flagler County Fairgrounds. Morning, Bob.
Good morning, David. Hello, Mayor Holland, Matt, Gretchen, Brian, David. It's chilly out here at the
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, man.
Are you riding?
I parked my bike so I could talk to
you
you and give you an update.
Okay. Yeah, I bet it's cold when you're riding that bike. You're probably better off just...
Yeah. Everyone is layered here. I'm with 50 wonderful... warm-hearted, brave souls, caregivers, National Guardsmen, retired nurses, doctors, our public health staff, loads of volunteers. And we expect about 400 people to come through the fairgrounds this morning to get their first shot. We did the same yesterday. Let's see, Gretchen, I think it was 382 that came through. And then tomorrow, we expect up to 600 individuals who will be getting their second doses. That, by the way, Flagler residents are guaranteed. So I don't want anyone to worry about not getting their second doses.
Okay.
The issue is the first doses. So, David, we can do 1,000 vaccines a day here at the fairgrounds, and we've tweaked the process. We've been at it now for 4 weeks, so... we truly have it going on here. We can do 1,000 a day. All we need is the supplies.
Yep.
Okay, well, out of all we're talking about here, somebody hears, hey, they're doing vaccinations at the fairgrounds. Let's go.
No, don't go. It's appointment only. We got 800 doses last week, and so we're using those to give first shots to people. And after tomorrow, we'll only have 110 second doses left to give, so we've given out about 1,600 of those. So
okay, so what about us guys that haven't gotten anything yet? And we get the text that says, "Hey, Publix," and text, and then as soon as you hit it, it says, "Sorry, all appointments are booked." So that's aggravating people.
Yep, but you're going to have to be patient.
It would aggravate me too, right, Gretchen? It is aggravating, but. We have to wait for the supplies to come in, and we do expect and we hope that will be within the next 2 months. I mean, we're hearing from Washington that 200 million doses will be available and in people's arms by the end of March, and we're counting on that because we are ready, able, and willing to get those doses into arms. So that really is the issue. It's a supply issue. No one here locally is holding back any doses, and we're ready to go. There's going to be a new statewide registration and scheduling system that'll start in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So all the 10,000 people that are on the county's callback list, waiting list for vaccines, will automatically be uploaded into this new statewide system that all counties will be using. So, things are getting in place. It's just so frustrating here in the beginning because they only have 2 companies that have been approved to, give out the vaccines, Moderna and Pfizer. Johnson & Johnson will be soon. So truly is a supply issue.
Yeah, didn't they? I read this morning that Johnson & Johnson said it was only like 60-something% effective.
I heard 85.
Oh, okay. I heard somewhere 60, but anyway.
I was going to say I have my daughter's transplant teams, and Johnson & Johnson is very effective. Like, they're looking at it as one of great reliability, and they're eager to get it as well.
So, Bob, I was wondering, I feel like we've been hearing about this new statewide appointment system for weeks and weeks, and we keep on saying that it was going to be available next week. and now you're saying another week and a half, couple weeks. So is it really ever going to happen? And what's the holdup on that? Do you know?
Yeah, it's really going to happen, Brian. It's just 67 counties need to go online. People need to be trained on how to properly use it so that we can, as users, we can work with the public. It's going to involve online registration. It's going to involve iPads here at the scene, at the vaccination site. So there's a bit there's a learning curve here.
Yeah.
But they got to bring on board their goal is by February 12th is to have all 67 counties live with the new system.
And the good news is that we already have been receiving training on it. It's called ShareCare.
Right.
I've sat in on 2 webinars about it, and but I need to sit in on more because it's going to have to take. We're going to have to explain to people what they need to do. So, again, like Bob said, it is a learning curve. So,
all right. So tell us again. All right. So we get the vaccination. Doesn't mean that you're immune to getting this. Doesn't mean you can't spread it to other people still. So what does it mean?
It means you're on your way.
Go ahead, Gretchen. I'm sorry.
No, it means you're on your way to immunity. And I've heard numbers from, I was just talking to our epidemiologist about it yesterday. He was saying like 60% after the first 2 weeks, and then you get, and then after 4 weeks, you're more like, and you get your second
92.
dose. 92%.
You're 92% effective after the first dose. After 14 days.
So it's not like, after you get vaccinated.
After the second dose, right?
Well, the first dose gives quite a bit of protection, I guess, right?
Yes.
Correct. First dose is 92% effective. And then when you get your booster shot 4 weeks later, that brings up the effectiveness to 95% for both Pfizer and Moderna. So this new mRNA technology and how this was produced these vaccines is just remarkable. It's a new advancement and new science that was put into play. So very, very effective.
Okay, so first dose is 92% effective.
Yep.
Hey, 92, I'll take that bet all day long. I'm good. So I guess the aggravation is then, then the other doses go to the second vaccination to make these same people. Wouldn't it make more sense to get everybody 92%ed rather than using second dose vaccinations for just a few more percent increase for people that have already had it?
No, because the regimen that was approved by the FDA for both Pfizer and Moderna requires a 2-dose regimen. Similar to, you get heart medication and you have 2 doses. Well, you take those 2 doses, one in the morning, one in the evening. Same thing with the prescription for this vaccine. So, no, 2 doses is the right way to go. We want to just get that booster shot so that you're 95% effective. And I don't know if Dr. Bickle is on today, but I know that Dr. Bickle would completely agree with that statement.
Okay, he'll be on next week, by the way, and so we'll get some updates with him there. But all right, great. Okay, Bob. So if you have an appointment, be out there at the Flagler Fairgrounds and just keep listening to the radio. Follow the Flagler Health Department website and sign up for the texting. I think at least, even if you're aggravated when you get a text, at least you're in the know of, okay, well, that's not for me, or I didn't make this one, but at least you're in the loop. So. And what is
absolutely, that? Absolutely, David. I want to encourage everyone. Call 386-313-4200 because you want to get on the callback list. I know it's 10,000 people or more right now, but you want to get on that list because when the new system comes live, Brian, in a week and a half, 2 weeks, sorry, we want to make sure that these appointments get uploaded into the new statewide system.
All right, very good. All right, Bob.
So make that call.
All right.
All right, and David, one more thing for Matt Morton. Matt, I'm going to be calling you later. I need your help. We need to find indoor vaccination site locations for the late spring, summer because of the heat and because of the rain and the downpours. We want to be safely inside somewhere, so I want to brainstorm with you on that, okay?
Fantastic. As always with you and Jonathan at the EOC, we'll do whatever we can to improve the health and safety in our community.
All right. Well, let's.
Great, Matt. Thank you.
Where would be some good places? Let's brainstorm right now.
Yeah, I think the community center's a great place. Good in and out access, good parking. It is a center. It's located centrally. It's a great facility. It's air conditioned. It has separate ventilation. And we went through this early on when we were evaluating with Advent Health of possible triage locations. So we've done reviews. We know that site works very well. We know we've had a great, strong partnership and capability with our fire lobbies that might be closer to people's neighborhoods to reduce travel time. So as always, we'll get creative. We'll come up with some great ideas that, again, really help empower the community to get this vaccine going.
Theoretically,
great,
wouldn't
Matt. And then churches is good too, everyone. So like church halls, parish halls, we've used them for community testing, like at Mother Ann Seton, Santa Maria del Mar. Those are perfect. We want to get our local pharmacies involved. We want to find these larger indoor places, like Cattleman's Hall here at the fairgrounds. We'll use that, but we can't do as many. We can't do 1,000 a day in there, so we need several locations where we can take our vaccination teams and fan them out across the community so we can get as many people vaccinated here as possible.
So the more locations, the better.
You got it.
No, the more vaccine, the better.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
That's got to happen first.
The better, right?
All right, Bob, stay warm and keep up the enthusiasm for all of us here in Flagler County. We need you.
Oh, listen, we appreciate the partnership with all of you, David, both media and then Matt and Melissa. Thank you all so much. Brian, you've been wonderful too, and just getting the information out there. So we'll keep it going, everybody. Stay safe.
All right, take care. We're going to take a break. We will be back. What's happening in Palm Coast and Flagler County? Well, we've got our city manager here, Matt Morton, also our mayor, Melissa Holland. What are some of the challenges for 2021? And we've got Gretchen Smith, Brian with The Observer, and you. We'll be right back.
Running down the road, trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind.
So you're ready to list it? We're ready to sell it. This is Sam Perkovich, broker-owner of Parkside Realty Group. Stop by our office in Town Center or call us at 302-0300. Visit us online at parksiderealtygroup.net.
My whole business just went up in flames, but my agent was there before the fire was out. We started a plan. I've got 25 employees who could be out of a job if we didn't get this place running again. My independent agent and auto owner's insurance, they made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. That's incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
In Flagler County, call the Haywood Brown Flagler Insurance Agency at 437-7767.
I probably shouldn't be saying this, but your neighbor came in the other day, and he's got money under his mattress. That Smarter Smart Bed is the way to go. It adjusts to what you want, from rock hard to cuddly soft, and it doesn't cost a fortune. Never pay retail. Put your money under your mattress. Stop in and try the Smarter Smart Bed. The beds are smarter than we are. You know who we are. We're Bed Tops Mattress Clearance Center in Palm Coast. Call us anytime. 386-627-4188. Bed Tops Mattress Clearance Center.
23 minutes after 9 o'clock, Free for All Friday. And if you missed the program, we always podcast them on our Flagler Radio mobile app, flaglerbroadcasting.com, and also Gretchen, your show is podcast. You did some great guests on there.
Thank you. It's tomorrow morning at 11:30.
Okay, who's on?
Flagler Health Matters. We're going to do some COVID success stories.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about, people who've maybe, come back, from having COVID. We're going to do a series on it, and also some seniors who got really lucky and got their vaccine and the experience they've had.
Okay, good. Some real life stuff in Flagler County.
Exactly.
Very good. All right. Well, if you just tuned in, that's Gretchen Smith with Health Matters, and we have Brian McMillan with The Observer.
Good morning.
Editor, and Matt Morton, City Manager, and our Mayor of Palm Coast, Melissa Holland. So kind of give us an update. I know, everybody's playing. It's always about money. But I heard it on, and it was in The Observer, of we're in pretty good shape, Palm Coast, as a city with money, right? No? I thought you found some money. What did I hear something wrong?
Surplus, or doing better than thought?
Surplus in my family budget is good.
So far, we took some measures early on with the leadership of the mayor and the council that we really got a hold of the budget. Helena Alves, our finance director, myself, we've been through a few interesting moments in our long careers in local government. and knew what some of the triggers potentially could be. So we took some strong moves early on to make sure we were preserving capital and curtailing operations without curtailing service, which is a delicate balance. I think throughout so far the pandemic, through the use of technology, particularly our Palm Coast Connect system and our virtual city hall, we were able to deliver over 96% of our services. We're close to about 99% now. We did make some what I call freezes, and they weren't meant to be long-term. So we froze salaries early on. We froze cost of living increases for employees. And again, if you recall, that was because we wanted to be in this fight and be in the struggle with our community, not be tone deaf and separate from it. The only thing we did close, the only service we didn't deliver, and it was purely cost versus time and safety, was the Free to Zamba pool was closed. It will be open this season. That was a one-time savings of about $600,000. So we had a lot of savings. Our directors were extraordinarily responsive to the call from the mayor and the council to do our best and then do even better. And they came in significantly under budget in every area. Again, not a long-term, ongoing, it's not that we suddenly realized how to become more efficient. We made some very deliberate choices. I will say a lot of staff has been extraordinarily overworked in our staffing shortages, and they have never complained or asked for more. They've just put in the extra 10 or 15 or more hours a week. It's not a long-term, sustainable strategy, but it's gotten us through. It's been all hands on deck. And then, yes, some of the revenues are coming in a little stronger. We're still cautious because I think a lot of the state budget forecasts are still, in serious condition in terms of revenue, in terms of tourism revenue and road funding dollars and sales tax dollars. So we still need to have a cautious eye moving forward. But I will say that healthy position of the city has allowed some extraordinary investments into things like UNF and JU, MedNexus, that are going to continue to do what the vision is, which is reduce the reliance on residential property taxes. I know the mayor's going to talk, I hope, this morning about delivering more jobs, good jobs to this community, and improving the quality of life. So while we're optimistic, we still want to push forward on critical investments that increase our amenities, enhance our quality of life, and continue to deliver jobs to this community.
Quality job. A lot of people, and I think you can never really stop talking because you really do have to educate people because they lived their whole lives. They did their job where they were. They came down here, retired. They like it as it is. And they don't realize that there's a price to pay for liking it as it is, and nothing stays as it is forever, or you go backwards or you're going forward on it. And I love the progressive attitude that Palm Coast has in Flagler County, and of making great opportunities for younger people to come here, because retirees, somebody's got to pay the taxes and somebody's got to pay, and if it's not other people, it's going to be you. And also it just adds a good spark of life to a community when there's good diversity, I think, of doing it. And so anyway, that's just my attitude, but we need to explain the economics of Palm Coast and how important these things are. And right now in the news this week was in the last month or so, was Town Center. We're raving champions of it. So what is happening? Well, let's see if you can give us an update on Town Center. What is happening, and why is it good for us, and what's the downside?
Yeah, this was a progression over the last few years. We made some strategic investments, and we also partnered with some strategic alliances. So we had to really take a long-term view of every indicator that we are seeing that no longer existed when Town Center was originally constructed, which meant brick and mortar and retail, Amazon on the scene, those sorts of things that happened. And it's sat dormant for quite a long time. And so we understood that the conversation had to shift to more sustainable business models. And healthcare is always going to be a growing industry. It's always going to be a need in our community. And so we are very excited by some of the outcomes that we have seen, particularly in the last year, and the announcements we've been able to make around those strategies. So we have great school districts here in our community, and I will tell you, with the announcement of Boston Whaler, that meant something to them. Workforce development is a critical aspect when you're talking about economic development, and we already have that foundation. We have a greater foundation now, and we're adding to it is that higher learning. Daytona State College is expanding. UNF MedNexus is coming in. They're over there, getting ready to move in. Jacksonville University. These were partners that we looked at the region in its entirety. We looked at what current systems exist. Advent Health has been a great strategic partner in identifying the jobs of today and the needs they have. And it's certainly incentivized these institutions, including Boston Whaler, for making very proud decisions by choosing Palm Coast home.
Okay, and Advent Health announcing the 100-bed hospital being built right in the middle of Palm Coast, on Palm Coast Parkway, and of course the unnamed yet Flagler Health Plus and, on US 1 at the end of Palm Coast Parkway. So to me, as a average citizen in Palm Coast, what's in it for me? Great, sounds all good. So how am I going to benefit from this?
Well, and again, we talk about high-paying jobs, right? Healthcare jobs. It's not just nursing, right? There's technology jobs in healthcare. There's administrative jobs in healthcare. These are always going to be jobs that are needed. And so when we're employing people in our community that want to share in the vision of Palm Coast, whether it be retirees that came here because they love the quality of life and amenities, we're a multi-generational community, which means our decisions are based on every aspect of that life. And when we can gainfully employ our residents, they're going to be reinvesting and spending money locally here in our community. So they're going to be buying houses. They're going to be, again, buying vehicles. They're going to be shopping at our stores, shopping at our restaurants. It reinvigorates the economy in a way that we could not do without these investments, without these successes, because we still have to answer the call when their fire department gets a call. We still have to maintain our infrastructure, our swales, and our stormwater. We still have to make strategic investments in our roadways. Well, there's a cost to that. And so to diversify that tax base and now allow more of that commercial aspect in it, that offsets the burden solely on the residential tax base that currently exists today.
Okay.
Is Advent Health, they're not for profit, right?
That's correct.
Does that mean that property is not taxable? The new Palm Coast Parkway Hospital property?
That's correct. But if you think about, again, going back to the jobs and what reinvestment that takes place, 700 jobs is...
Yeah, the jobs are, no question, major impact. I saw the quote that you sent out, and I commented on it in paper on page 2 in my short little column this week, but the idea of all these different places coming and adding up to like 1,000 jobs... that's just, we've been waiting for something like that for so long that it's just great to actually see it happening. And you think about the impact it has on, that's 1,000 families potentially that could see see things improve. I'm sure some people are going to move in to take those jobs realistically, but it's a huge impact on the community.
And we're seeing that, Brian. Just with the announcements alone, I'm getting a lot of residents that are reaching out saying, when is this going to begin? Mm-hmm. I spoke to a woman 2 days ago. Her husband drives 2 hours away to go to his job every day. Mm-hmm. They're excited by these moments because it does add that foundational support for families in our community. And a lot have even been impacted even further with COVID. So we are very much a part of hopefully solving some of these areas that these families have had to undergo throughout this last time period. And, when Sea Ray closed, frankly, it displaced a lot of workers. So these are jobs in a variety of ways, again, that we want to make sure that we offer training, and that's where those educational institutions come in, and they're key. Those partnerships of the hospital to say, what are the jobs, right? What can we do? And the high school of having those flagships play such a critical part. We could not do that without our school district being a key partner in all of this.
Mm-hmm. What is, Matt Morton, what is the budget for the city of Palm Coast for 2021? What's the total nut?
That's a phenomenal question, David, that you asked. It breaks down into several different categories. We have enterprise funds, we have a general fund, we have building department fund. So if you're asking what the total gigantic document, it's over $200 million.
$200 million. All right, well, let's go to the guy that controls $96 billion, State Representative Paul Renner. Morning, Paul.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. Appreciate you joining us here. We got Gretchen, Brian, Matt, and Melissa in the studio. Everybody want to say good morning?
Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And a few thousand people listening, if you could hear it all across Flagler County. Okay, so here we go, 2021. Matt, what committees are you on this year? Any different ones than last year?
You said to me, I assume I heard Matt's name, but I'm the rules chair, so that's a change from being chair of judiciary, and I also sit on the Appropriations Committee.
Okay, well, Appropriations, that's a big one. I heard DeSantis this morning just on the news. I was trying to get the clip for it, but it was $96 billion, and he said that the projection was very, very conservative, so we're a lot further ahead in having more money than we had thought for the coming year. Can you comment on that?
Well, I think that the steps that Florida has taken to try to balance fighting the virus with keeping our economy open so we don't destroy people's livelihood, we don't have all manner of negative consequences that come from some of these extreme lockdowns that we've seen throughout the country, has meant that our economy has not sunk as far as other states have, and we're going to be more resilient and proven more resilient as we hope to come out of this summer. And in fact, you look and the mayor alluded to some people coming into our area, but the real estate market, when I talk to the realtors, the problem is that they don't have any homes to sell. Florida has become an oasis of economic freedom, of a better state of conditions than many other states, really any other state in the country, in my opinion. And people are voting with their feet and coming to Florida in significant numbers, more significant than they have perhaps in the past. And so we're seeing people from all over the country moving into Flagler County. And the St. Johns County and Volusia County are also experiencing significant growth, two counties that I also represent. And that's a testament to a lot of things, but it's good policy. It's making sure that we set the right balance for the private sector to grow and create wealth. And Mayor, I couldn't improve any on what she's already said about how the development of the Boston Whaler coming to town, JU and MedNext, these types of things are going to really bring a lot of wealth that allow us to address our infrastructure needs, to address many, many needs in our community that we just simply can't do by just looking to government to try to fund it. Government only has the money that is generated from private wealth in the form of taxes. And so the more we can do to have a vibrant economy and vibrant businesses, the more we'll have to do the things that the government does need to do in the way of public safety and infrastructure and education.
What about you're a guy, we voted you as our state representative, and I know you got on appropriations, you've got a lot of people pushing and pulling you this way and that way and everything. So you've got more than just Flagler, St. John's, Volusia to worry about. But for our area right here, what are your objectives and goals, and what would you like to see happen that would be in it for us here in Flagler County?
Well, I think for perspective, while we're doing better than other states are doing really, really poorly. We still have a deficit in our budget from our perspective, and we only budget based on money we have, not on money we think we're going to have, which is not uncommon. That's what individuals and businesses do. And we're still looking at a deficit that's just shy of $3 billion. And so that is improving. The budget picture has steadily improved, but we're still going to have a massive shortfall. And for perspective, that's worse than any year that I've been in the legislature. And we've had some tough years with hurricanes that it cost us $1 million to recover from. This is far worse than that. And while our economy was exceptionally strong coming into coronavirus, it took a dip because we basically shut it down. We ordered everybody to stop working and stop generating that wealth that comes into tax revenues. So we have a hole to come out of. We have to do that responsibly. And the last thing we should do when people are struggling to cover their own personal budget is ask them to do more, is to ask them to take a little bit of money they do have to cover their budget needs and take it away from them in the form of tax increases. So we're going going to pare back and prioritize, which is our job to do. It's our one constitutional duty. And we have a balanced budget requirement. I wish the federal government had that. They would have to actually choose between things that they wanted to do and not just do everything, print money to do it, which is what we're about to do in this coronavirus relief package. There's a point of no return, frankly, for our country to go down that path. State government, people will be happy to know, has a per capita spend that is far less than other states. We passed New York in population, yet their budget is about twice the size of our budget, even though we have more people. And so, and you see our economy doing so much better in all categories than a place like New York, who just tax and spend their way out of crises.
Right.
We're not going to do that. That'll make us more resilient on the other side.
Hey, Paul, Melissa Holland, go ahead.
Yeah, I just, a great aspect and a point. I think, when you're talking about the statewide budget, I was at a meeting yesterday with FDOT, and they were talking about, different road projects in our region, District 5. And it really hit home when they pointed out that how many fewer cars were on the road during COVID and how many fewer people were fueling up. And that has an impact over, right, the gas tax collection. And now what we're seeing is a lot of these budgetary shortfalls for projects that were anticipated. And you're absolutely right, Representative Renner. We're going to have to make some very tough decisions this fiscal year to ensure, we're not taking away from the residents and certainly the impact we've seen on them. But I just wanted to highlight that as an example because road projects and infrastructure projects are funded throughout the state. And now we're going to see a big shift in that without people fueling up the cars. I know I'm one of them. I was home quite a bit, did not fuel up as much. And we're seeing that on the other side now.
Didn't you want to contribute gas tax to the city?
If I was driving,
buy local. Let's go.
If I was driving, I definitely would.
I have a question for you, Paul. I saw the News Service of Florida story by Jim Saunders recently. It talks about DeSantis' $96 billion budget, and in his reporting says that he's offering a, quote, more upbeat picture of Florida's finances than lawmakers are. Do you feel like you're saying that we're $3 billion in the hole. Does that mean that it could have been $99 billion, or is there like some struggle that's ahead as far as how to get, whether we really can afford a $96 billion budget that DeSantis is proposing?
Well, the number's about 2.75 is the last number that I've gotten. But, I think there's a perspective that some of the budget woes, and this flows down to the local governments as well, that the federal government will continue to print money, because you keep in mind that every dollar that we're spending in, CARES Act 3.0 and 4.0 and on it goes, while much of it is really needed, given the fact that it was government that caused this, that caused the shutdown and is putting people in such a desperate condition, but it's still borrowed money. This is not money that is available. It's been paid in through taxes. That we said, hey, this is our priority. It's literally printing more dollars, and basic economics 101. At some point, when you have too many dollars chasing too few goods, you create inflation, you devalue currency, you devalue everything. It's a problem, and I'm not saying we're there yet, but there is a perspective that the federal government will simply write a check to these states and to local governments to make all their problems go away. I think that is actually not incorrect. I think, especially where we are today following the elections, that not only is that possible, but what I worry about most is an effort to really bail out, mainly Democrat-run states that have major pension issues that have been accumulating for decades, that Florida taxpayers will be really in a direct, at least not direct way, be asked to bail out. And that should not happen. It's one thing, and I can get on board with a lot of the COVID relief, the checks to individuals to try to help them through this crisis, unemployment assistance, the PPP, to help our small businesses. But, we start bailing out states that have massive debt and have been making bad decisions for decades. The relief should be targeted to any shortfalls the states and local governments have suffered since March of 2020, not going back to the 1970s and 80s where they've been making these terrible decisions, and ask states like Florida, where we've been responsible for our taxpayers to basically pay for states like Illinois and New York to get out of their bad decisions.
Hey, Paul, we're out of time. We got to go. Any final wrap-up comments from you?
Well, look, we've got a lot on our plate. I'll save for another day some of the legislation that's going to be moving through. I think you'll see, as in most years, that we're going to move aggressively. There's a lot to be done, not only in the area of coronavirus, but to improve our health care, our education, our public safety, and the like, and so in our environment. So I look forward to talking with you in the coming weeks about what your state legislature is doing, and I think a lot of people would be happy to see that we actually get things done.
I agree. Hey, we appreciate you representing us, and we will as we get into session and everything. We appreciate your updates. So, Paul Renner, State Representative, thanks. Have a great weekend.
You too, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks
All right.
with me.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back. Tourism, of course, is a big thing that does lots for Florida. And here in Flagler County, we're going to check in with Mark Gerling, who is our travel consultant. And where can you go? Who's coming here? And where are the deals? And all that. Coming up next on Free for All Friday.
We are not very good at picking winning stocks and bonds.
We don't like roller coasters.
But we are good at helping people with winning tax strategies.
With new tax laws taking effect in the new year,
we can make sure you're on the right track.
So you have no surprises.
Personal or business, we're here to help.
Call us today for a free consultation.
Flagler Tax Service. Call 793-7156.
You don't think it'll happen to you twice. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado destroyed everything, again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there. Auto Owners Insurance.
In Flagler County, call the Haywood Brown Flagler Insurance Agency at 437-7767.
9:47, Matt Morton, Mayor Melissa Holland in the studio today. Gretchen Smith with the Flagler Health Department. Brian, my co-host here, observer editor for Palm Coast. Still enjoying your job?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good.
It's been a good 10 years so far.
There was a
For 10
delay
more.
in that response.
Let's ask that same one to Matt Morton. Still enjoying your job?
Absolutely. No, really, it's fun. It's rewarding. I get to work with some amazing leaders, and I think we're actually delivering great things to the community. So
I think that was a little too quick of a response. A little suspiciously fast.
Yeah.
And Mayor Holland, we're going to assume that you still like yours. But
What about me? Communicating during a pandemic?
well, you're on a lifetime contract.
Yeah.
You have no choice.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, no, that was good. Thanks, State Representative Paul Renner. And as Tallahassee fires up and all that, what do you call it when you go to Tallahassee? It's everybody lobbies for money for things. What do you call that? What do you call it when you?
What do you mean?
When everybody goes to
lobbying day, or yeah.
There's lots of them.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
I
arm twisting
road trip. I call it a road trip.
Yeah. Road trip. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, tourism obviously big for us, and Mark Gerling, great guy, friend of mine, and has Gerling Travel, who got whacked also, I'm sure, with the whole COVID thing. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, David and company. How are y'all doing this morning?
Good. Great. Doing good. Just kind of an update. I met with Amy Lakosik, our TDC director, the other day, and got some updates that, we were actually not doing bad. She said December is going to come in bad for some reason, but what bad is not as good or somewhere in there, so we're not as bad as a lot of different places. But what is happening in the travel world, and kind of from our perspective here, where are people going and why, and where are the deals? And the other part is who's coming here and why? So Mark Gerling, all you.
Well, thanks, David, for having me on. I remember we had this conversation back in maybe the spring of 2020 when we were kind of full-fledged into the pandemic, and kind of the writing was on the wall that the travel was going to be very bleak for the following months, and that obviously held serve, and it's been it'll be a year in like March 15th, I believe, where every cruise almost globally has been suspended due to the pandemic. So we'll be going a year without booking a cruise and canceling every cruise, and even canceling the ones all for this first quarter for all those clients that had rebooked for like February, March, April. All those have been canceled again. So definitely been beaten up pretty good from the cruising world. But to talk quickly about just our local Flagler County inbound travel, we do own and manage several Airbnbs here at our Girling Travel Complex, and they've been full. The Airbnbs have been full. They're full right now. They've been full, I would say, since they restricted them all maybe back April, May, or June of last year, and really we have just seen a nonstop trickle of out-of-towners, people coming in from other parts of inland Florida, Georgia, all parts of the Northeast, Midwest. Besides our normal Canadians that would normally winter down here, we have not seen those guys because of the border closure. But, you know, from a local domestic travel, we have seen just in our little bubble of our condos, they've been busy.
Great. I mean,
so from that perspective, it's good.
I know we talked with Hammock Beach Resort, and they're doing quite well. Lots of golf being played. There's kind of a resurgence, actually, with the popularity of golf.
Yeah, it's a naturally social distancing experience. So, yeah, it makes more sense to do that. Take one in a golf cart, fine. So you use more golf carts, but you get people out and about. Yeah, I had met with Carlton at the Hammock a couple weeks ago. And I saw him, and he said that their business levels have been really good. I was just trying to find a home for some spring break clients here locally that want to go somewhere, and I mean, I couldn't find him a place. I mean, I was checking all different resorts in Florida, different places that have rental homes, and they were either super ridiculously expensive, the ones that are left, or just sold out. So the Florida tourism, I believe, is been good. We've been to Disney ourselves. We've been to Universal several times over the course of the year, and the numbers have slowly increased there. Even with the massive restrictions, they still have seen droves and droves of people. You know, we all assumed we can go to Disney and not have to wait in any lines anymore. Well, that's really not the case. You can time it maybe one day or two. Maybe today it's cold. You might be able to get in 20, 30-minute waits. But overall, from the times that we've been traveling around the state, just to kind of get out a little bit, but also to kind of see and gauge what's the domestic tourism really about. And our clients have came to us more for domestic travel, but I have also, even in December of 2020, David, I booked probably my highest level of volume in 2020 December, in the month, for the month, travelers, than I have done in probably any year of my travel career. So it was just a blessing in disguise to kind of end the year with a positive, but I think the main take from it for us was that people are willing to travel. People understand that there's going to be a new style of travel. Like I had one of my clients took 50 family and friends to Hawaii for Christmas week, and every single person that went had to go get a COVID test at a specific authorized medical facility or lab, let's call it, based on what the Hawaiian government wanted. And you have to upload it to an online portal. You have to have a scanned little barcode in order to show it. And the airlines, when you board the Delta flight to go to Hawaii, it's the airline that wants to see the test paperwork. They want to see the actual results before you ever get on the airplane. And then you show up in Hawaii, and the security people there want to see the same test result. So you may have to show the same test result 2-3 times in one trip just to get to where you're going. Another example, my wife and I and the kids went to the Turks and Caicos for Christmas as well, kind of on a little, it was a blessing again for us. One of our wonderful travel suppliers had given away some rooms, and we were fortunate enough to get one based on our volume from the last several years. So we took it. We got our COVID testing done through a mail order kit. It's $130 a piece. They mail the kit right to my house with all the swabs in there. You go to your doctor. They swab you within 96 hours. You mail the kit back, FedEx prepaid envelope, to the lab. They email you the results within 24 hours. You print it out, fill out the portal, and off you go. So if you just have a little time and patience and you're willing to do those little extra steps, people can travel.
All right. Hey, Mark. Yeah, we're out of time. If somebody wants to go travel, needs some insight, you've got great insights. And how can they get a hold of you?
You can either call us at 386-439-6900, mark@girlingtravel.com.
All right, Mark. Hey, have a great weekend. Thanks a lot. We always appreciate your expertise on travel. All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay, well, that's good. That's some good news that the Airbnbs, you can't even find, rooms for them and that. That's a kind of a positive story here. Are you surprised by that, Melissa?
No, not really. I mean, again, I really think that Flagler County is this jewel of a community that offers a lot of experiences. And we're very fortunate to have Hammock Beach Resort in our community and all the hoteliers. So it's good to hear. We like that people are spending money locally. Mm-hmm. It also helps our local economy, and we welcome them.
Final words of wisdom to live your life by from our city manager, Matt Morton.
I'm my brain's on the travel theme, and the mayor's not surprised. I'm not surprised either. People are coming here. It seems obvious, but people are coming here because they don't want to be where they are. And you can go through miles and miles of other states, and you never realize you enter one town and the next. And so Palm Coast is so unique. And there's so much here, and it's so diverse. I've had opportunities to get engaged with our phenomenal Filipino community. I always like food. I think food's a great bridge. The food's phenomenal. I've had more than my share of occasions to go to the Portuguese club and be involved with the Portuguese community. The food is 3 times phenomenal. If you've never had Portuguese food, you're missing out on one of the joys of life. And I'm sure you have a Portuguese neighbor. Find them, make great friends, and get yourself invited to dinner. So words to live by is enjoy. We don't overlook what we have here, the gems we have here, and our wonderful fabric of a community, our incredible amenities that are going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to deliberately invest in these amenities this year. That's what our citizens are demanding, and rightfully so. And so I think despite a lot of the travails we still have to face, a lot of the obstacles, as Representative Paul Renner mentioned, with our leadership at the state level, our local leadership, Mayor Holland, and some community leaders, we are, what was the statement earlier today where you said the last state of the city, we're going to roar back after the pandemic in 21, and I really think we're on track to roar back.
All right, I love that. Mayor Holland, quickly, words of wisdom from you.
Oh, geez. Just, always a pleasure to be representing a community. Again, I take great pride in our residents. Always look forward and interested. If you haven't signed up for the Mayor's 90/90 Challenge, please do so. Come out and walk with me every Wednesday at 4 o'clock at Waterfront Park. It's a great way to get to know our residents and connect with them.
All right, very good. Gretchen.
All right. Next week, testing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1:30 to 3 at 120 or across from 120 Airport Road. We are going to be vaccinating more people next week. Which is good news, but my key message is to get to everybody, kindness, faith, patience. Vaccines are on the way. Keep social distancing, keep washing your hands, wearing those stupid masks that everyone hates wearing, but we're getting through this.
Brian, 30 seconds.
If you go to palmcoastobserver.com, there's an interview with an actress, Annie Gabus. She's in a show called Two for the Seesaw. It's another, pandemic affected. I mean, the pandemic has really hurt the arts a lot, but Palm Coast Arts Foundation and City Repertory Theater have kind of combined forces to do this. You sort of rent it online, but it's a local show, so it's pretty unique. And kudos to them for doing something unusual and can read the interview online right now.
All right, very, very good. Thank you, Gretchen, Brian, Matt Morton, Mayor Holland. Thanks a lot. Always great to have you on. Have a good day, everybody. Be safe.
Kids screaming, phone ringing, dog barking at the mailman, bringing that stack of bills overdue. Good morning, baby. How are you?
Serving Flagler County for over a decade. WNZF, 1550 AM, 94.9 FM, and W235 CW Bunnell.